Hello everyone, how's it going? We're gonna do something a little bit different on the stream today because we can. Because we're going to. Because I need to. Really is the answer. Sorry. We are going to work on a keynote presentation that I've been putting off for way too long for a talk that I have to give tonight. Another day, another ship it. Chat's not working. Nope. Yeah, no, just putting it off until the very last minute. It's fine. Shush, don't worry about it. But yeah, we're gonna, if the talk is tonight, yeah, probably should get on that. Yeah, probably. We're gonna build it out today. I think I know mostly what I want to talk about. I was kind of waffling between a couple different talk ideas. This is why I haven't done the talk yet, or haven't prepared the talk yet. Is mostly just because I didn't really know what I was going to talk about, like what really I was going to spend my time on. But the work that I've done both with Black Highlighter and with Bark recently, I really want to, or it's kind of led to this thought that I have that, app intents is more powerful than a lot of people think. And this was not only on my apps, but also hanging out in Adam Wolf's chat. Yeah, just really like, there's more to it than, oh, we're enabling shortcuts for power users. Apple's added a lot of things to what App Intents does. They're continuing to add even more to what App Intents does in iOS 18, what with the new Apple Intelligence stuff, that kind of thing. It also has been for a while backing things like widgets, as you saw on the stream last night. You can use it to do the configurations for widgets. Controls now in iOS 18 is another one. I feel like there's at least a couple others that I'm missing, but yeah, there's the kind of like automated search results thing where you're like, if you search for your app or you search for like a thing that your app can do in Spotlight, you can actually have that drop down and say like, oh, do you just want to go ahead and do this thing? So there's a lot of different things that App Intents now powers that I think is useful for people to know about, even if they don't care about their app supporting shortcuts. I don't think that a lot of people care about, I don't think a lot of devs think about, let me put it that way. I don't think a lot of devs think about how users would use shortcuts for their app. And that's okay, because a lot of users aren't going to use shortcuts for your app. But a lot of users are going to start to use things in the system that shortcuts, or specifically app intents, can add more power to. And so I think it is important to know about this feature and this functionality and how to implement it and when you would implement it in order to improve your app's integration with the system, even if you are never ever going to have users that build shortcuts. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And that's kind of the thesis of my talk, is app intents more powerful than you think, and or more useful than you think. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. App intents more useful than you think. The capital. It's August, right? What month is it? Anyway, app intents more useful than you think. There's our slide. This is going to be the entire talk. I'm just going to say it's more useful than you think. That's it. That's the end of the talk. No. What do we? Yeah. Let's start like plotting out this talk, and it doesn't have to be a long talk. Talks can vary in length at this venue, but I feel like I want to cover at least a lot of different things. So let's kind of talk about what they are. So like, what are app intents? What are app intents really? So I want to say, like, what are app intents? And this is kind of just going to get into like, oh, they're the shortcuts thing. But what are app intents really? This is also like, what else are you going to be able to do with them? And so, yeah, then I think we're going to get into building basic app intents. And then probably a slide. Well, okay, so building the basic app intents, using your app intent in shortcuts. Because again, that is going to be the way that most people understand it, and it's kind of going to be the easiest way for people to test it, is using it in shortcuts. So yeah, okay, so what are app intents? What are they really? Or maybe what else are app intents? Question mark. What are app intents? What else are app intents? Building basic app intents, using app intents in shortcuts. And then maybe a slide for each of the other cases where you would see app intents. So widget configuration. And Apple Intelligence. And search. Lurking and working. Cool. How about what we call this? Spotlight search specifically. Maybe spotlight actions. Yeah, let's call them spotlight actions. Okay, what else does app intents power? I feel like we were looking at a page that was like very into that just the other day. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just imagining this part. No, not this one. Configurable widget. I think mostly this is, yeah, this is the page that I want to look at. Okay, interactions with Siri, including those that use the personal context awareness and action capabilities of Apple Intelligence. We've done that. Oh, yeah. Action button and squeeze gestures on Apple Pencil. That's another one. That is still kind of shortcuts, but that is a useful thing for people to have. I'm surprised that they don't mention the widget. Oh, yeah, they do. It's just down here. Never mind. I'm slow. It's fine. To learn more about features that use making actions and content discoverable. Yes. Okay. Design guidelines. Ooh. Yes. Oh, yeah. That would be, that's another good one. Like, what should I make available in my shortcuts? Like talking about the design ideas that they had, or the design guidance that Apple provides. What should be an app intent? I don't like the name of that slide. We're going to figure that out later, what that means. I also want to, okay. Part of this stream may be reading, hold on, let's there's a podcast, sorry, not a podcast, a blog post that I've been wanting to read for a minute that I know talks about this, and I actually started reading it, but I didn't finish it because I'm bad at reading. Here, this is the blog post. Vidit Bhargava, he's the developer of the app Lookup, which is like a dictionary app that has like a daily word of the day type deal. I think he actually has a separate word of the day app now. Yeah, that's what this is talking about. Word of the day. That has some stuff. And he has this entire talk about like the way that we interact with apps is changing. So especially the way they're designed. I literally just read the headline of that article. I don't know why. I was like, oh yeah, this is what the thesis of this article is. That's also why it's the headline of this article. But basically the idea being that you shouldn't think of your app just in terms of app design, but also in terms of action design. And so, yeah, maybe I should like cite this in this article. Here's the problem. Like, I mean, yes, I'm going to cite this in this article in my talk, but also A, it's very long. This is why I haven't finished it. But B, nobody gets links to the slides. I don't know. Maybe I'll post them to the thing later. I'm gonna delete the bit of this that says pocket shared. I'm gonna have to go back and look at his name. I think that's how it's spelled, but yep, dang it, I deleted it. I'm just gonna link to this whole thing. There we go. Nope, this is not how links work in Safari. Nope. Okay, there we go. Is that how you spell his name? B-H-A-R-G-A-V-A. Hey, I got it right. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, what should be an app intent? Building basic app intents, using app intents and shortcuts, widget configuration, Apple Intelligence, Spotlight actions. Oh yeah. I do think there's one more, which is Apple Watch interactions. Oops, not skip slide. Apple Watch interactions, because you can have the action button on the Apple Watch trigger a thing in your app that's separate from the Apple Watch thing of being able to just trigger a shortcut. But then also, I think this might also be behind some of the like double pinch stuff in WatchOS 11. I haven't looked into it yet. I need to look into that. Is this also powering live activities? I think it might also be powering live activities. There's a lot of things that this does. Support the action button with a set of your app's essential functions. For example, if your cooking app includes an egg timer, a start egg timer action might be one that people want to initiate when they press the action button. Hey, Donuts, how you doing? Yeah, I think this all makes sense. Okay. So, action button. That's the thing you can get with it. Siri, we've decided can get with it. App shortcuts. Yeah, this was the one I was talking about. App shortcuts. Which, that's a terrible name for it because it conflicts with the other shortcuts words that I'm using. So I'm just going to call them spotlight actions. Too bad, Apple. I'm going to come up with a different name for your thing. Deal with it. But then, did it say that there was something with live activities? It is not. I don't see it. Oh, understand experiences that use. Okay, activity kit. There it is right there. Never mind. I'm bad at reading. Activity kit to offer interactive live activity. Okay, so the interactive live activity. Oh, yeah. Okay, so widget configuration. Here, we're just going to call this one widgets and live activities. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, these are going to be all the various things that you can do with it. Okay, so you have what are app intents. This is going to be like everybody's talking about. You know, it's shortcuts. This is how you support shortcuts. That's what this slide's going to be. What else are app intents? This is going to list basically all of the other things. So okay, so shortcuts. What else are app intents? Nope, gone too far. What else are app intents? And what we decided is they are widgets, configuring widgets, Interactive widgets, interactive live activities. Trying to read my very tiny text. Apple Intelligence. Spotlight actions. Hardware interactions. Yeah, so these are all the various other things that app intents can do. You got that. What are app intents? Oh, that's how you implement shortcut support. Cool. But what else can you do with it? You can configure widgets. You can have interactive widgets. You can have interactive live activities. You can have Apple Intelligence. You can have Spotlight actions. You can have hardware interactions. Also new in iOS 18 is custom control center items. They're literally just called controls, but that's way too ambiguous for this talk. Okay. So what are app intents? There's shortcuts. What else are app intents? What should be an app intent? We're going to talk about the article. We're also probably going to talk about Apple's like design WWDC videos, etc. How do you build an app intent? This is going to be about how you just conform to app intent protocol. Some various other things there. Yeah, provide parameters, provide whatever. There's a bunch of different stuff that you got to do. I almost want to have a new slide in here that is talking about like, hello. This is going to be about the app entities. Using app intents and shortcuts. Yeah, this is probably going to have like screenshots of how your app shows up. We can talk about like parameter. This is going to be where some of the, like the live coding is going to happen. It's not actually going to be live coding. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to just put code on the slides. That's probably a better idea. Ooh, you know what we should be doing this in? Hold on. I'm dumb. Screw Keynote. What's the thing by that Josh Holtz did that was like you can do slides in Swift? Thing. Because that had like good support for code. I want to find it. Where was that? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I don't even know that that's not him. That's him. There we go. Fastlane Deck UI. This is what I'm looking for. I knew that if I just got to his website or his GitHub, I'd be able to find it. Okay, Deck UI. How do we do this? The latest release was 101. It's been a while. Okay, I thought there was more work going on this. Okay, we'll deal with it. Is anything broken? No. How do I use this? I think I just like create a protocol or a package and then start building it, right? Demo app for usage. Okay, it might have to be an actual app. Okay, that's fine too. We can work with that. Am I being dumb by choosing to use a completely untested other framework for this? Maybe. When I have such a tight deadline? Possibly this is a terrible idea. Am I going to do it anyway? Yeah. Yes, a very early stream, Cricket. I know. I have to give a talk later tonight, and I realized that I had not prepared it at all, so I decided that that was maybe a thing that I should do. Prepare a talk. And so now, of course, what we're doing is we're procrastinating by doing something completely different. What is this? Okay, so we need a presenter view with a deck, and we provide a deck some other way. Okay, so we'll come up with our deck later. I mean, we'll go do that now. It's a great idea. Shortcuts deck. We're gonna come up with that. Okay, content view. So what this allows us to do, this thing that I just downloaded, it allows us to build presentations in SwiftUI. So we're gonna say this is shortcuts deck. Presumably just like that. Okay. So then we need our shortcuts deck. Which I'm guessing conforms to deck. Okay. And then oh, does it not conform to deck? Is deck a struct? Okay. That's fine. I wish presenter took a I was gonna say, I wish presenter took a closure that we could do. I guess not. That's fine. Yeah, see, this feels like this should be using protocol builders and all the things. Oh, I guess it might do. That's fine. You're tricking yourself into thinking watching a Coca type stream is productive. You usually learn something new here. Hey, it is. You can learn something new here. This is a great place to learn things. Job hunt hasn't been going very well. Unfortunately, getting discouraged. That's a bummer, man. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can learn all kinds of things. We're literally doing a talk today about learning things. I'm supposed to give this talk later to teach people about things. And yeah, hopefully we're learning stuff now. If you have any questions, just ask, and I will teach as many things as I can think of. Okay, what do we got here? We got a deck. Can we have a single slide? We're just going to give ourselves a single slide, and that slide is going to have a title. Ooh, a title and a subtitle. So we already have this. Intense. More useful than you think. Okay, so now if I do a preview of this, what happens? Okay, that's cool. Look at that. All right. Thank you for adding a bunch of stuff that I don't need. Center. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now if I actually build and run this, and I like zoom it up way big, does it do what I want? Wow, you don't support a Command-Shift-F full screen? No, it's Function F? That's weird. Okay. But yeah, I mean, this is basically what I want. Okay, one slide down. The reason that I really want to do this, let's make sure that we have the parts of this actually working. What I ultimately want to do is I want to be able to put code on this screen. And so Oh, future features syntax highlighting for code. Oh, they don't actually have syntax highlighting for code yet? That might be a problem. If they don't have that, then we may just stop right here. And we'll go back to SwiftUI. Or sorry, not SwiftUI. Oh, enable highlight. Cool. Alright, let's go grab some SwiftUI code. Well, I mean, we have SwiftUI code right here. We're just gonna grab that right there. So you're gonna put that in there. Okay. Now, how does this look when we render this slide? Yeah, see, no shortcuts. Or sorry, no syntax highlighting. Boo. Okay. We're probably not gonna do this then. That's fine. Bummer. Oh well. Are there any forks of this that are maybe further ahead? Existing forks. I know I don't have any existing forks. I want to look at their... Isn't there like a graph? Oh, is it this button? Okay, some people are slightly more far ahead, but I don't know. Isn't there like a... Oh yeah, switch to tree view. That's not useful. I'm looking for people who have like added stuff to this. But I don't know what they've added. This person seems to have added a bunch of extra documentation and stuff. That's useful. But yeah, still no syntax highlighting. Bummer. Initial code to support syntax highlighting. But is that also coming from upstream? That might be coming from upstream. Yeah, initial code to support syntax highlighting. So they did something. They linked to this. Language. Ooh, hold on. Maybe I need to pass in a language? Maybe this code is here and they just haven't released it? No. Maybe. I don't know. It says initial code to support syntax highlighting, but it doesn't necessarily support syntax highlighting. Do you review resumes? I can. DM it to me on the Discord or post it publicly on the Discord. I don't if you're fine with that. But yeah, I'll review your resume. Okay, I'm not. I have no idea if this works or not. So we're gonna try pulling from the main branch. I'm on the wrong page. We're gonna try pulling from the main branch and see if that has it, and if it doesn't, then we're gonna stop. So what I need to do is I need to branch main. And then can I... Oh, it did pull out this other fork. Or this other package. So maybe we'll find out. Cannot convert value of type string to expected argument type programming language. I mean, that's promising. Code needs to start with language and then has text. Oh, okay. Here, we're just gonna start here. You all come back. You don't. And then you drop. And then you go away. And then we see what we get. Still nothing. But that doesn't mean anything because we did not provide a language. sorry, dot Swift, enable highlight true. Hey, okay. Okay. I can work with this. Because if I recall correctly, so now here's what's interesting. If I recall correctly, what this thing can do is if we add another slide and we just take the same code and we say like content view dot background red, and then we run this, here's what happens. Watch. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't animate nearly as smoothly as I thought it was going to. Okay. That might not. I thought that there was a way to do that. We're gonna look. We're gonna keep reading. I thought he had a thing that it was like when you animate between the two pages, it's like a thing that you can do. I thought it had like basically some like magic move type stuff. Highlight lines of code when up and down arrows are pressed. Ah, that's what that enable highlight is. So I can just I can reference individual lines. That's cool, but less cool than I would have hoped. I thought this thing had some like magic move type shenanigans to it. That's okay. Okay, I think we can work with where it is. Post it in general, or where would a message be more appropriate? Post it in... I mean, it's up to you whether you want more public feedback or not. I would say post it either in... Here, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take some quick time off. I'm gonna go create a like career advice channel. This is what we're gonna do. And then other people can provide feedback if they want to provide feedback. There is now a career advice channel. I would post it in there. Okay. Note. Yeah. Okay. So we have the ability to put code in here. Now, the reason why this exists is because we can do like columns, and then we can put this in a column, and then we can put the code in a column. That didn't work quite as well as I would have hoped. But we can put a different column alongside it. This is the more important bit. Boop, boop. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we can put like stuff on the left and stuff on the right, and that's more what we want. Okay. I think this is gonna work. Let's work with this. Okay. So now, yeah, now let's actually go get our slides. Now, what would be neat is, yeah, I'll look at it later today. Depending on how far I get in this, either before or after my talk, but I will look at it today. I promise you. All right, so what I'm hoping here is, can I provide a preview of each individual slide? Because that would be great. Delete this file. Create a new folder. And we're going to say slides. We're gonna say title slide. What I want to do, see, what I want to do here is I want to provide each slide on each page, but slide isn't a protocol. Slide is a struct. So I kind of have to provide like a title slide dot slide, which is kind of dumb, but whatever, it's fine. Can we provide our own protocol slide provider? Because if we do that, then we can say struct title slide provider, slider provider. Hey, iSense, how you doing? We're trying to work on presentations today. See, because yeah, this is what I want here. Is I want. Hang on though. I know I'm still being silly. Just bear with me for a minute. Slide array builder can build an array of slides. What does slide array builder do? It just takes in slide. What's going on here? Because yeah, what I want it to do is I want it to build. I wanted to put something in here that I could just put my own thing in here and I could just conform it to this. It's fine. We're just gonna deal with this being the way that it is. It's fine. Title slide provider, let slide equals slide, and then we can do some other stuff. But then my more important thing that I want is I want like a preview, and then I almost want like a struct slide previewer. And then this is going to be a view var body init with provider slide provider. The reason we have this is so that then we can have a deck, and then that deck just has a single slide that is our oh yeah, we need a presenter. Are all these components code slide written by you, or is it some package? It is some package. It is Deck UI by Josh Holtz. So I can drop this link in the chat. But yeah, I'm trying to like work around. There's some things that aren't quite the way that I would have done it, but I like what it provides for me, and so I'm trying to get around that. So, and what I want is title slide. Yeah? Is this gonna work? Okay, so now I need my contents. Which is not right. Okay, what I want here is basically this. Right. And paste. And so then what my hope is if we build this, a single page that just has our title slide on it. Perfect. Okay. We're going to move this other stuff out into a new file. Slide previewer. We have easier ways to deal with this stuff. We do need SwiftUI and SwiftUI on every single page. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That's kind of a bummer, but whatever. Yeah, okay. This is fine. All right, so we have our title slide. Let's go get our intro slide, our oh, okay. I think some people talking about this on Threads yesterday about like, oh, does Xcode automatically alphabetically sort everything now? And is there any way to deal with this? And I was like, I have not seen that functionality, and that doesn't make any sense to me. I haven't seen that. And it's this feature where if you're using folders instead of groups, maybe that's what it is. Because if I go open this, I can rearrange these however I want. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. That's an answer to that question. I'm gonna see if I can find it again. Provide an answer to that question. Oh, it seems like they already answered the question. Never mind. Somebody else already figured it out. Never mind. So we have our intro slide, our title slide, our see, this is the thing. Now I have to come up with like names for each of the slides. Expansion slide. Design slide. Building slide. Data slide. Shortcut slide. Widget slide. Intelligence slide. Spotlight slide. And slide. And I guess a conclusion slide. All right. Now these are not in any way, shape, or form in any order, but now we get to go over into our, oh, well, we probably need to actually define each of these. Which one of these is our title slide? Okay, so we're gonna grab all of this. And then we're gonna go into each one of these. We're gonna say, here, you know what? We're just gonna, yeah. so there's all of our slides. They all have identical content right now. That's a problem for somebody else. We're going to delete all of these slides. And can I just add an extension to deck that does the thing that I want? Probably not. Not easily. That's fine. We'll do it the hard way. Okay. Title slide. Slide. Extension is going to be the best way to go. I think I'm just going to not. But I'm just going to add the word dot slide everywhere. It's fine. Title. Intro. Expansion. See if I can remember the order of these. Design. Shortcuts. Is that the right next one? Oh, building. Building, and then data, and then shortcuts. Building. Data. Then shortcuts. Then widgets. Yeah, well, okay. I understand why they went with data type instead of view. But what I am wondering is why it's not a protocol. Why is it a struct and not a protocol that I can conform my own things to slide? I think that would have made more sense. Okay, so this page should have... Oops. Is that not the thing to restart? That's totally the thing to restart that. I have no idea why I did something different. Okay, so this is going to have a whole bunch of slides that are identical for right now, but that's fine. Okay. Can I convert this to a group without messing things too much? No. That's the answer to that question. Power. Okay, whatever. Intro slide. None of these... Well, some of these might be center. That's fine. We'll deal with that in a minute. What are app intents? What are app intents? And we might have to come up with subtitles for all of these, but that's fine. We're going to leave them as is. Now, what I want to think here is, can I then put words after this? Does it work? Yes. Okay, cool. You know, I'm realizing that I may want to have multiple slides per slide. I don't know. We'll come back to that if it's a problem. All of these have the subtitle more useful than you think at this point. App intents and shortcuts. All right. There's all of our slides. Let's start building out what we want to talk about on each one. We want to start with, our intro slide. What are app intents? The basics. App intents are a lot of things. They're used to build shortcuts. Defined in Swift code. I have to call that out because there's at least one person at the thing that is just still on the I refuse to use Swift bandwagon. It's great. Like, no, you have to do this in Swift code, man. What is this? Perfect. Yeah, import deck UI. It's fine. Yeah, because now watch what happens if I build and run this app. Look, just check out this app. Now the real fun part is I have to remember to transfer this app to my device. But yeah, you can do this. And then I forgot to start deleting the center thing. But it's fine. We'll fix it when we get there. Okay. Let's see what Apple defines app intents as. Because that's kind of here. Provides functionality to deeply integrate your app's actions and content with system experiences across platform, including Siri, Spotlight, widgets, controls, and more. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I like this phrase. Building actions and automations in the Shortcuts app. We have that. They're defined in Swift code. Defined completely in Swift code. And only Swift. It'd be nice if I could use Markdown. I don't think I can. Oh, I can. Sweet. Look at that. That makes me happy. Define completely Swift and only Swift code. Can I zoom this up at all? No. Okay, defines completely in Swift and only Swift code. Actually, you know what I could do is if I go to my slide previewer, I might be able to say dot frame width 1080. No. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. And maybe that'll make it a little bit bigger in my previews. Okay, there we go. That's much larger. Maybe we should cut that down a little bit. 640 by 480. Is that going to be too small? Oh, how about we go with the old iPad side, 1024 by 768. Pretty sure that's not 16 by 9, but shut up. That may not matter. Okay, that's good enough that we can actually see what we're doing. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Okay. What are app intents? They're used to build actions and automations in the Shortcuts app. They're defined completely in Swift and only Swift code. Sorry, that is going to bother me. 576. There we go. Okay. It was centered vertically in the thing. It was annoying. Okay, what are app intents? They're defined completely in Swift and only Swift code. They consume parameters, strings, files, numbers, and they consume parameters, strings, files, numbers, etc. And then they perform actions. And they return results. Strings, files, numbers, etc. Why are you failing to build this game? Don't tell me that there's a max of 5 words available. No, you're lying. Okay, why is it failing to build the scheme but only for previews? Because that's going to be a real obnoxious thing if I can't preview it anymore. Let's all that out. This was working. Okay, this is annoying. We're gonna quit Xcode and restart it. That crashed the simulator? What is failing to build now? I don't understand. What's wrong? Command code sign failed with a non-zero code. Okay, I mean, that makes sense, but like... Okay. Invalid or unsupported format for signature. They don't really need you to sign this code. I mean, I get that it's a Mac. I get that, I suppose. But also, like... Why? Find to run locally? Can I just do that instead? Does that make you happier? No, of course not. But I can build and run the app. I just can't run it on previews. That's stupid. What if I make this an iPad app? We'll switch this back now that this is... Here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say, okay, general. This is also an iPad app now. And then what if we build it for iPad mini? Yeah, okay, we do that. And then now that we're building for the iPad mini, now will our preview work because we don't need to sign it anymore? Is this a incredibly dumb idea? Yes. Is it going to work? If it works, it's not dumb. It's Cocoa type mantra. If it's a dumb idea, but it works, is it really a dumb idea? Can I make it be landscape? If it's dumb but it works, is it really dumb? Not. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna stick with this. I guess this is what we're gonna have. Okay, so there's that. What are app intents? Here they are. They are used to build actions. They're defined completely in Swift. They can consume parameters. They perform actions, and they return results. Ta-da. Okay. But what else are app intents? And then we had a whole bunch of words over here that we already copied. So just gonna copy all of these. Boop. Do like a I'm a little bit surprised that worked, but okay. Sweet. Okay. That's our second page. Okay. So we have page 1, page 2. We have what are app intents? What else are app intents? And then, yeah, is that where we get into building them? Oh, what should be an app intent? Yeah, the design slide. Okay, now, here's what's interesting. Okay, we have the ability to use Markdown. Does that mean we can have a link in our Markdown? I was going to put the whole name of his thing, but then I just remembered that it's ridiculously long. It works. I don't like that it's like bright blue like that, but whatever. It's fine. And also not underlined. Article by Vidabagava. Should I just put this in? Just like a new line. So that people can actually see the thing. Can I put a new line here? Yeah. That work? Did not. Does it work like Markdown? If I do that, it does it? It does. Okay, sweet. I don't like that the bullet, like... Yeah, okay, here. We'll do it this way. He named it in the slug action-centered design, so we're gonna name it that way too. Design by Vidabagava. There we go. Okay. We're gonna look at that. That is gonna be our link. And then yeah, we'll probably find some way to maybe on our conclusion page we'll have like our citations. Yeah, maybe this is a good idea. There we go. That's fine. Maybe we don't even need that to be a bullets. We can just get rid of that and just words. That's a little bit of a bummer that Markdown works, but it doesn't let us do titles. Oh well. We may change this. I don't know. We've got more things to worry about than this. Okay. Action-centered design by Vidabagava. The other thing that I want to link to is Apple's own developer website. Apple.com, WWDC. Because there was a good one by, I want to say it was the one by Michael Garbach. Is a good one. But I need to find that one. And that was not from this year. You know what? We're going to open the developer app. Because that's going to make it easier for us to find app intents. Bring your app to Siri. this is not at all what we want. What I'm looking for is like design type articles. Or sorry, videos. Design app intents for system experiences. Yeah, this is a good one. Yes. Okay. Link. How do I share this here? Copy. Copy link. What was this called? Design app intents for system experiences. And then I think there were others about like, what was the one? There was one that was really like, you should have everything. Maybe it was that one by Michael Gorbach, but I feel like his was more technical. Maybe it's this one. No, this is not at all what I want. I mean, this is useful, but it's not really what I'm looking for. I mean, this is useful for the other pages. Yeah, spotlight your app with app shortcuts. Let's copy that link. Move that to the shortcut slide. I cannot spell the word bullets to save my life. Also realize that I'm on the wrong slide. Don't worry about me. Yep. I'm just gonna search for this guy's name because I cannot remember which slide is his. Dive into app intents. Yeah, this is definitely the right video. Learn how you can make your app more discoverable and increasing engagement when you use the app intents framework. Design app shortcuts from WWDC. I've screwed this up. This is the wrong one again. We're gonna go back to here. Learn how you can make your app more discoverable and to learn more about app intents. Watch implement app shortcuts with app intents. Now, design app shortcuts. Maybe that's what I want. Okay. I feel like there's still a page that I'm missing that is like, what are your things that should be app intents? And the answer is really like, everything should be app intents. everything that you can do in your app should have an app intent associated with it. Identify the subset of things that your app can do that make the most sense as app shortcuts, but we're not talking about app shortcuts. We're talking about intents. Is there something in here about like the shortcuts app? No, because this is app shortcuts. Something in here about intent? No. I know there's a page or the video that there's something that I looked at that was like, literally everything you do should be some kind of shortcut. And I'm not finding that page. That video. All of this is out of date. This is wrong. Do not do this. The add to Siri method for adding shortcuts is no longer supported. See app shortcuts for ways to integrate your app with Siri in the system. I don't know what's going on. That's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I swear that there was a page that was like, no, really, just shortcuts all of the things. And now I can't find it. And it makes me sad. Because that's a point that I want to harp on, and it would be really great if I could tell in the thing, here is where Apple says to do this. If you're currently using the app intents framework in your app, you might limit app intents to selected actions and content. Starting with iOS 18, iPadOS 18, macOS 15, tvOS 18, watchOS 18, visionOS 2, the app intents framework provides integration of Siri and Apple Intelligence for every action of your app and its content. Review your app's actions and content and consider expressing more actions and content with app intents. Okay, I mean, that's as close as what I found to what I'm talking about, but sure. Copy link. What is this? This is ban existing app intents usage. Hey, thank you for the follow, M. Dembski. Banning existing app intents usage. What we're looking for? There we go. Okay. Apple developer article. That needs to go inside the quotes. Not going to do much good outside the quotes. There we go. Okay. So what should be an app intent? The short answer, everything. Long answer. Every action a user might, what's the word I want to, like, I want to say like self-contained There's a better word for that. Every like individual action. That's not quite the word I'm looking for, but we'll come back. English is hard. Every individual action a user might take in your app should atomic. That's a much better word. Yeah, imperative is not quite what I'm looking for, but atomic, yeah, that's a much better word. Every atomic action a user might take in your app should be represented by some app intent. Can I put just like a new line in here? I can't without having the bullet there. That's a bummer answer, but oh well. Action Center design app intents experiences, expanding existing app intents usage by Apple developer. Yeah. So everything should be an app intent. Every action a user might take in your app should be represented by some app intent. The reason for this is because it makes it, it helps the system understand what users are doing and help surface that work later. Surface those actions later. Helps the system understand what users are doing and helps surface those actions later. That word. And then it also it means that you have more ways of exposing this information to places outside your app. Gives you more ways, gives your app more ways of exposing content behavior to other parts of the system. And then I guess a third one that I thought of just now is like for users who do use app shortcuts. Yeah, shortcuts integration. Yeah. So yeah, Mdemsky, this entire article is, or slide is about, or talk, not slide, is like about all of the individual ways. Because a lot of developers, I think of app intents as just the shortcuts thing. And what this entire talk is about is kind of like, no, it's more than just shortcuts. But I still want to say, like, for users who do use shortcuts, being able to chain them, being able to chain actions makes custom workflows possible. But yeah, so this talk is basically, hey, you may have heard about app intents. They're cool. You should use them. But you probably have dismissed them as being just the shortcuts thing. And they're actually way more than just the shortcuts thing. And if you start adopting them now, then you're going to be able to have all of these other functionality that people are going to be able to use. So yeah, you're new to Apple framework, so you appreciate the explanations. Awesome. That's cool. Hopefully this is going to make sense as I work through it. Anyway, this is what I got so far. Let's display the talk so far. I'm realizing that I have no idea how this is going to work on the iPad, and I just built it for the iPad instead of building it for the Mac. But oh well, we'll find out. Here, no, we're going to stop. We're just going to build it for the Mac. Waiting for that spotlight or that simulator to boot up is going to take too long. We're going to run this one instead. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the iPad one will win. Or no, here, the Mac one's already back here. There we go. Okay. App intents, more useful than you think. What are app intents? They're used to build actions and automations in the Shortcuts app. You can define them completely in Swift and only Swift code. I am going to drop kind of talking about the old intents framework because You could do that in Objective-C, but it's not really the way that Apple wants to do it. And I think it doesn't work with some of the newer ones. So yes, there is a way to do some intent stuff in Objective-C, but Apple's deprecated that part of it. It's a lot more complicated, and it doesn't support some of the newer functionality, which is really what I'm trying to talk about. So we're not going to do that. They take in parameters, and those parameters can be strings, they can be files, they can be numbers, they can be all kinds of very specific things. You can limit what they take in. So you can say like, oh, I want files, but I want only image files, that kind of thing. And these are the parameters to your actions. Then it performs an action and it returns some result. And that same types can be returned as results. You can return text, you can return a new file, you can return in numbers, etc. I do want to, I think I need to put in here that, oh, you can also like have representations of your app's data, that kind of thing in there. So one of my apps, for example, takes in an image and spits out another image. And that's one thing that you can do. You can take in an image, you can spit out another image. Another of my apps that I'm working on right now, takes in a representation from its own thing and spits out a image. And so that's saying, oh, show me this barcode, and it gives me that barcode as an image. One of the things that I'm going to do with that same app is I'm going to say, given an image, scan it for a QR code and tell me what the value of that QR code is. That's going to be taking in an image, giving a string, not really doing too much with my app at all. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can and can't do in this app. But what else does App Intents do? It's not just for shortcuts. You can also use it for configuring home screen widgets. It is what's powering the new custom control center items in iOS 18. It is everything behind interactive widgets and interactive live activities. So whenever you see those and you're able to interact with them on the fly, that came in iOS 17. That's all powered by App Intents. Also new in iOS 18, you've got all of the Apple Intelligence stuff. iOS 18.1, sorry. You've got all of the Apple Intelligence stuff. That's kind of still coming down the pipe, but that is all powered by App Intents. You have Spotlight Actions. Those came out in iOS 16 or 17. I'm not entirely sure. And that shows things that your app can do in search. So you might search for like, oh, I don't know, something that your app can do rather than something that your app is, like not searching for your app name, but rather like order food, and it might pop up like your menu app. And it would show that instead and allow you to kind of hop directly into that action. And then hardware interactions, you have the action button on the iPhone 15 Pros, you have the action button on the Apple Watch Ultra, and you have the squeeze pencil gesture on the Apple Pencil, the new Apple Pencil. These can all be kind of powered by App Intents as well. What should be an app intent? Absolutely everything. I also need to remember to change the subtitle on this page. Basically everything. Long answer. What does configuring widgets mean? I thought widgets used something other than intents. So let me show you, because I worked on this yesterday. Let me show you if I can remember which simulator I had this open. I think it was this one. So it's not working right now, but it's okay. This part of it will be working. So when you create a widget or when you edit an existing widget, this here where you can pick, so this is going to pick which code would be showed in here. All of this UI here that would show like what you're doing with that widget, that's all powered by App Intents. So if do I have that code base open? Nope. I'm gonna open that code base. If I look in here, this is my configuration intent, and I think that this warning is why it's not working, but don't worry about it. Yeah, I can provide a title and a description, and then what I want to have in there, and that's my barcode entity, and my barcode entity is those two items there, the treats and the website code. It's called treats because it's the barcode from the back of some cat treats. But yeah, that is all powered by App Intents. You conform to this widget configuration intent, and that is what allows you to provide different things. And so then like display code intent title, if I do that, or no, I think it's actually display code intent barcode title. I go find where that is. That's probably the word code here that you were seeing over in the simulator. That's where that's coming from. And so yeah, that's where you are able to pick different things. But yeah, those are the that's what we have in there. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put short answer everything. That's gonna be my, let's switch back to the other code base. That's gonna be my subtitle. I actually put that in the subtitle and it does what I want. I gotta switch back to the iPad, otherwise it won't build. Or the preview. Dang it. Okay, that's a bummer. Short answer, everything. Long answer, every atomic action a user might take in your app should be represented by some app intent. It helps the system understand what users are doing, surface those actions later, gives your app more ways of exposing content and behavior to other parts of the system. For users who do use shortcuts, being able to chain actions make custom workflows possible. Here's some links to some pages that do that. And honestly, what I might do, I think what I might do is I might just have like my all of my citations, and I'll post them to the website. That'll be what I'll do. It's like I need some way of like linking to these things and having people be able to actually find them. But I think this is just how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna provide them later. I'm gonna be like, hey, you want this information? Here it is. And so then I don't have to have them on this page. Put this back to being alignment center. Boom. Okay. So now that we have that, where is our next slide? So the next slide is the building slide. So this begins to be like, how do we actually build a basic app intent? What I want here is I want a column, and I want a column over here that's like bullets, and that's got some stuff in it. And then I want another column that is our code. And then in this Swift code, I'm going to put in that barcode entity. Maybe not this one. I'm going to do my display barcode intent. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. Pretty simple? Pretty simple. I'm not going to have all the imports, because that's just noise. I do that. Oh no. What's the thing that I do to have raw strings that doesn't have this problem? Hang on. Multi-line raw strings Swift. Oh, just like that. That's easy enough. All the way at the bottom. There we go. Look at that. I mean, it's very tiny, so you're probably having trouble looking at that, but if we worry about the fact that this is too long, okay, we might be in trouble because we would need to scroll on that page, but that's fine. We'll figure out a way to deal with it. I want to see. Yeah, this is too long. So we may have to shrink this code a little bit. That's fine. Just trying to think of like where can we lose code? We don't really have a lot of places where we can lose code, but we can drop the entire has background. Nobody actually cares about that. Especially since I hard coded it to true down here anyway. Whoops. That's kind of important to show these optional parameters though. Dang it. Can I just make some of these smaller? Is this gonna work if I make them new lines? I think this is what we're gonna have to do. Static let title equals. See, there's just not really any room for this after the word localized resources. There, we're just gonna get rid of some of this stuff just to. Yeah, maybe that makes it a little bit of a problem, but it's not technically correct, but. I just really want this to be on like one line. I need to make it way shorter than it is. Hey, thank you, Koala. Not a problem. Thanks for hanging out as much as you can. Yeah, we're just gonna call this code intent, and then we don't have to worry about this. You just do. There, that makes things shorter. Perfect. Just everywhere that we have the word display, just like get rid of it. It's still way too long, but maybe if we do that, it'll be fine. It's running on the mini again. Yeah, we're fine. Run on the Mac. I just want to see, like, can we get enough of this down that it's obvious what's going on. See, this is still need to lose about 2.5 more lines. Hey, thank you for the sub, Koala 420. I feel like I can lose that main actor. Nobody's gonna really miss there being an main actor thing. I do feel like I need to include the returns value. But maybe I can drop the sum intent result. It's maybe not entirely wrong to just say that this is that. Okay, is that close enough? That might be close enough. People aren't going to be too worried about the fact that my last curly brace is a little clipped. Just rotate it 90 degrees so it fits the aspect ratio better. I mean, what I could have done, I'm realizing now, because I'm super dumb, is I could have just made this a separate slide. I could have made the code a separate slide and then not had the thing, and then we don't have to worry about the new lines. Sorry, we don't have to worry about the word wrapping. If we do this. Look at that. Now we got plenty of space. That might be better, is to just have this code on here. And then I can also, like, if I turn on the enable highlight true, let me show you what that's for. Get into here and I can like talk about it line by line. Be like, So we have these parameters. This takes into code. It takes into barcode entity, which we'll get into in a minute. Have a title here. Defaults to true because we need to specify something if it's not. Oh yeah, I guess it's just defaulting to true because users aren't actually doing that. And then we have to provide a summary, and this is how it appears in shortcuts. Again, show it in a minute. And then this is what's presented to them. But then in here, we have all of our optional parameters. So we have, or I guess hidden parameters. They're not optional. We have hidden parameters down here. So this will show what our text is and then have a reference to the code in there. But then we also say we've got this other parameter, but we don't need to show it to the user right away. They can dive down and find it that way. Then in here, we have our perform action. It returns a result, and we specifically say that it is going to return some kind of file. We take our renderer, we get some image data out of it, and then we create that. We put that data into an intent file. We've given it a name, we've given it a PNG, and we just return our result. So there's that. Could I drop a line by moving this here? Okay, code image renderer. It's a little bit shorter, especially now that we've got plenty of room. And then maybe we could bring back stuff like our longer descriptions up here. Intent description. And then it's more technically correct. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this does a nice job of showing off everything that we have and not being confusing. It's just like, here's the minimum things you need. You need a title, you need a description. Here's what parameters look like. Here's what parameters look like when you want to specify a different default value. Here's a parameter summary. Here's what it looks like for all of the stuff that you want to display. And here's all of the stuff that is like buried away. And then it needs to perform an action and return a result. Here's your, here's just the image data. This is what's doing all of our actual work. And then we're returning some kind of intent file. It has data, a file name, PNG, or file name and a type. And we just return that result. Okay, I think that's doing a good job of explaining what we need here. Do I need to talk about anything else in here that would need to have slides? I don't think that we do. Sorry, not slides, but bullet points. And I don't actually think that we do need that. So I'm going to drop not having bullet points there. I'm going to drop having bullet points there. I'm not going to have any bullet points. I'm just going to have this. Okay. So there's our building slide. And then what's our next one? Is that the data? How do we get data into that? Is the talk tonight going to be recorded? No, we do not record talks at this place, unfortunately. For one thing, we barely even present talks. Ever since COVID, our meeting place has been literally just like a gazebo in a park. And so, we don't even really have like a projection screen or anything like that. It's everybody gather around my MacBook Air. Everybody watch it that way. So yeah, it's not going to be recorded, but maybe I'll do a recorded version of the talk on stream here. We could use it that way, but no, it's not going to have this, unfortunately. And I said, it's not going to have this. I mean, we're not going to have a live recording of the actual talk. That's the words that I meant to use. Okay. Is our next slide the data slide? Content view. Convent view. Need to go talk to the nuns. Data slide. Okay. So I think data slide is going to look pretty similar to this slide. Also, I just realized that I have the columns here and I don't actually need them. Should definitely do a TED talk on this. Hey, KNH, how are you doing? Okay, that's all moved back over. Okay. So then let's copy, paste all of this. Oh, why is this still aligned center? Has that been causing part of our problems? It might have been. We probably don't want that. That's fine. Get into our data slide. Exposing data to app intents. And then our subtitle is going to be custom parameter types. Okay. And so then what we want here, this is going to be the code that we have from barcode entity. And then, okay, so this is, I'm going to like very heavily truncate this because we don't have that much space. Okay. We don't need these. We do need this display representation. We don't need any of this. This is useless nonsense. I think this is fine as is. The problem is I need like also the query is going to need to be in here. And this one's a little bit more complicated. Should I leave in for the public talk this revenue cat can eat my socks? Donuts isn't here. He doesn't care, right? You can delete this. Yeah, because we got a lot of space that we need to make up. To the extent that I am gonna like start getting rid of some new lines and stuff. Okay, so this public static let default query. This should definitely just be nestled up against the type display representation. Actually, I don't think that we need the default query at all. That's something that we added for the widget stuff. Ted Lasso talk. Do a Ted Lasso talk. And then, yeah, okay. Maybe we make it like that. We just nestle those pieces up together too. That's fine. Okay. Actually, the fact that this is public means I can actually totally drop the init and it works exactly the same way. There we go. Look at how much code we've just saved. All right. All of the main actor and non-isolated stuff, nobody cares about this. Public func entities for identifiers. Barcode identity throws an array of barcode identity. We are gonna just say all codes. Sorry, donuts. Oh wait, maybe it was the default result that we didn't need. Not the default query stuff. Get rid of our public init. There we go. That should be enough to be able to actually display it, right? This gets, like, here's the important parts. I want to run this on the iPad mini. I want to run the Mac version. Wish I could very easily tell it, okay, run the Mac version over here, but use the previews on the Mac mini. Or I wish that code sending would just work. I mean, but I've been wishing that for 16 years at this point, so. Okay, yeah, this shows up. So here's our custom parameter types. We need all of this information. Public like code. We need, it needs to be identifiable. So we have the ID. And then we need a display representation. That's basically just saying like, how is it going to show in the list? And so we return a display representation like that. Then we also need a query so that it knows how to get it from, like, it knows how to look up all of them. And so it can look up by an identifier, or it can look it up by suggested entities. I just have an all codes in this case that is returning all of our codes. And in both cases, we're just taking all codes for the entities. Or for the ones with the identifiers, we're just filtering the identifiers. For suggested entities, we're just returning everything. Hooray. That's an easy slide. Okay. We're going to get more complicated as we move along, especially because a lot of these things I have not done yet. So we may have to come up with our own fake code. What else do we have in here? Exposing data, using app intents and shortcuts. Okay, so I think this is going to basically be another bullets slide, but then we'll have a screenshot of like using this in an actual piece of code. I think that could work. Yeah. And by actual piece of code, I mean like using it in shortcuts. If I say using an app intent in shortcuts, so then yeah, let's take that display code intent that we had. And if we open up our simulator, we got our simulator right here. This is how this is going to appear. And then yes, yeah, do we want to show that? I mean, save to desktop, that's fine. Then the other thing, oh, this is open, sorry. We want show. I don't like that it's giving us a default. That was a thing that happened because of the other thing, but I don't like that. I don't want a default in there. I'm actually going to go delete that code because I don't think that that's doing what I want. Shortcut stack. It didn't seem to be helping anyway. Here, you know what? We're just gonna do some barcode or bark development right now that I didn't think that we wanted. Where was that widget one? Yeah, this one. Encountered a non-optional type for parameter code. Conformance to the following intent parameter requires all parameter types to be optional. Oh, hang on. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I just didn't read that thing the whole time. Never mind. I feel like an idiot, but it's okay. Now it doesn't build at all. That's a problem. Symbol not found. Something that's not referenced from widget contents. Symbol not found. XC run Swift. No, is it just Swift? Swift. Demangle. Blah. Is it gonna work? Anything gonna happen? I thought that was what it was. Swift demangle. Xcode ships with the command line tool to demangle names. Type in Swift demangle. Then find your managed class name. Okay. So I say Swift. I see what I did wrong. Demangle, and then I don't pass in anything. Then it starts up, and then I paste this, and then it tells me what I want. Okay, so it needs the code display configuration intent code getter. I mean, would it not be defined by this protocol here? feel like I don't know what's going on here, so I'm gonna just stop. We're gonna run the regular app. This is not something I need to deal with right now. Widget contents can't build because we can't build shortcuts, it says. But it doesn't tell us why we can't build shortcuts. Could not build shortcuts. But it doesn't tell us why we can't build shortcuts. It just tells us we can't. But it tells us we can't build widgets can't be built because we can't build widget contents. Widget contents can't be built because we can't build shortcuts. But it doesn't tell us why we can't build shortcuts. In my mind, we have no problem building shortcuts. It's just there. And now can I build widget contents? No. Okay, this is, there we go. This is at least an answer. Value of optional type barcode entity must be this. Okay, so we need to say guard let code equals configuration.code. Here's the problem. Like, timeline display entry almost needs this to be optional. And then we can do this. And then we can do this. And then we can do, that's never gonna work. If let code equals entry.code. There, now we have that. Now we should be able to build and run our widgets. Did I need to be doing this right now? No. Am I doing it anyway? Yes. Does that make this work now? Still no. That's fine. Whatever. This is all we need a thing for. Also, why is this screwed up now? Why does it say display code intent title? God bless. Because I renamed these the code instead of barcode, didn't I? That's a thing that I did. No, it's just here. I have no idea why this is the way that it is. Display code intent dot title. No, it's display code intent dot title. That still exists. Why are you like this, Xcode? And I keep accidentally running the widgets instead of shortcuts app. I mean, it clearly has a title right there. We do that. Okay. Why are we still getting... Why are we still getting the default value? I don't want a default value. I really don't want a default value. That annoys me. Because I wish I could just clear it. I guess this right here does not have an optional. Well, it can't have an optional by the time it's done. It has to have something eventually. But I do wish that this... Yeah, so we have a default query here. I thought we got rid of... Yeah, we got rid of the bit that says... I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. We're just gonna uninstall Bark entirely. That's not Bark. I like how it decided that this is a black highlighter action now. Okay, we're gonna try one more time and then we're gonna just give up, okay? Build and run. Right. We also, yep. Build shortcuts. And it didn't build. Why did it not build this? I'm so confused. Do I have a problem with my thing over here? Yes. Okay, but now I don't actually have any items in here. Okay, so now that we have that open, installed, saved, all the things, now let's open shortcuts. Now we create a shortcut. Now we go to Bark. Now we go to show code. And it's blank. Okay, that's the one that I want a screenshot of. Also though, XC run, simctl status bar, blah, 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 all the things. Boo. Invalid non-ISO date time string. Invalid argument. You always used to be okay with that before. There we go. And then I guess really what I want to be showing is, yeah, like this. Okay. Save to desktop. And then now, what we need to do is we need to put it in a little doohickey. You know, the little doohickey. Come on, new document. Thank you. Artboard, iPhone 15 Pro. Boom. We go get our screenshot. Get our screenshot. And then we do a new one and we make it so big because what we care about is Apple product bezels, iPhone 15 Pro, natural titanium, of course. Move this because it aligns to what you want, which is the thing, but then it doesn't really help have it be in the right spot. A little bit obnoxious. Yeah, that totally is clipping it if I do that. Okay, so then, no, give me the actual thing. Yeah, okay, so we need like a slightly blank pixel on each side. That's fine. Yeah. There we go. Now the bottom. You're good. How long is this phone? Such a tall phone. There we go. I think we're nearing the bottom. There we go. Okay. There's our phone. So now what we can do, we can actually, I don't know why there's any reason for us to do this. We just snap it to here. Oh, goody. Not the right size. Oh, that's because. There we go. Okay. Now this should go behind the thing. Yeah, there we go. And then we need to round it a little bit because we got the little ears poking out, which you can't really see right here, but if I make it be on a dark background, you wonder what happened to the thing. It's not part of the border. Okay. Sorry, compile dev. I forgot you were in here. Yeah, see how you see the little ears poking out? That's a problem. And we need to fix it. You look away for 5 minutes. 5 minutes too many. You must be hyper vigilant. All right. So we're gonna tell this to use it as a mask. And then we're just gonna round the corners until everybody's happy. Except we need this to be in here because we don't want to mask the phone. Then there. Now we can get this, and now we can say, why don't you have any corners? There we go. There we go. Just shave those ears off a little bit. And we've got our artboard. So now we can export this. We can say the size that we want. I know. We're gonna call this shortcuts. Sure. And then, okay, so how does this work with the deck UI stuff? I think what we can do is we have an assets and we drag it into that. I like that we can have a 1x, 2x, 3x. That's goofy, but it might be worth it. I don't know. Columns. Column. Tech. Words. Ooh. Column. Was it media? Dot. Asset image. Shortcuts. If I do that, does it work? Try it out. Let's see what happens. Hooray! Okay. The problem is I want the to be centered in the column. Which it's not currently really doing. I don't think that we have like the concept of other shortcuts, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Or sorry, like modifiers. Yeah, that's a bummer that we can't tell it to center that. That's fine. I don't. And I can't change this because it's part of the thing. That would be what I'd want, is like to deal with that, but I don't know, man. It's fine. Okay, so what do we have here? Using an app intent in shortcuts. So we can show our code, we can show our variables, we can show that. Oh, you know what I realized that we should have had in our screenshot is like linking it to another thing. Except show code. This would be like an image, and then we could save it to photos. Save to photo album. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we have that instead. If we copy that to the clipboard. Oh, it's going to be bad. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Also, I just realized that I could just totally just put there. There. Same thing, 2017. Yeah, maybe I just don't have the drop down at all. It's covering up too many useful things. And again, I keep thinking that this is going to work like a symbol, and it's not how this works. Now, if we go back and render our UI, have a new screenshot. Yeah. And then, yeah, that way I can kind of point to things and say, like, this is our parameter. This is our hidden parameter. This is the exporting. This is, you know, returning result. This is all of those things. So yeah, I think that's useful information to have. So then what all do I want to put in here? See, now I'm realizing, like, yeah, should I just have just the screenshot? The problem is, yeah, this is another thing. Yeah, why could I not just center these things? That's what I want. It's annoying. Bullets. I want to know what bullet's style is. Like, what kind of style can I have? Oh, I can have a bullet or a dash. I do kind of like dashes. You just go replace all of these now again. I don't know. Hello there, Mike Line 3. So yeah, I'm kind of just pointing out things on this page where I'm like, okay, so you've got a shortcut. Here's what your shortcut action, your shortcut details, all of that looks like. This also, no. Hello, Darcy08. How are you doing? Yeah, this doesn't show here, like, this is our other pieces of code. So this is like where our description is. but that's fine. Using evidence and shortcuts more useful than anything. Parameter summary, hidden parameters, perform a result. Yeah. Perform result. So that just shows these things. If there's other parts of the UI that do show other things. Maybe I should just have multiple slides of this that are explaining the various other parts. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have just multiple slides. This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna build out things by doing this. So shortcut slide 1. We'll have a shortcut slide 2. Shortcut slide 3. So we can have, yeah, all of these different screenshots. Okay. So that is helpful there. We'll have that one. Then we'll have the shortcuts. What is the end goal for this app? So for the barcode app, it's I don't know. I don't know what the end goal for that app is. It's releasing an app that lets you save barcodes and do stuff. What I'm working on right now, however, is a talk that I'm giving later tonight. Nothing like waiting to the last minute to actually prepare this talk. So the app that you're seeing right now, right here, this is just a talk that I'm giving. And I'm using a tool called DeckUI to build out a deck in you can use Swift code to build out what do you want the what do you want your presentation to look like. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do now is I kind of want like screenshots of this to demonstrate like here are the different parts of the things that you're building. So slide 1 would have something and it would have the words and it's like, okay, here, this is your hidden, no, this would be your intent title and your intent description. And then it'd be really cool if I could just like fade those out over time. Do I have like a words? Oh, it does have fonts. Sweet. Okay. So I can say like color dot white dot opacity 0.3, for example. Like fade it out on the next slide. Maybe. No. Do you know if it is possible to access iCloud containers from inside app intents? It should be. I haven't tried it yet, but you basically have access to everything that you have intents access, or entitlements access to. It should work. I know, for example, in my intent, I access my Swift data container. So that should be more or less the same thing. Okay, cool. So I can fade this out this way. Just to demonstrate what is and what is not currently on screen. So we have our intent title and our intent description. That's our first page. See, this is where I should make this just a shortcut or a symbol. So we're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna have just a whole bunch of different ones. That's fine. Okay, so this is with result. We're gonna duplicate that. Delete the top one. Oops. We're gonna delete the top one over here. This is gonna be showing parameters. But that's not actually here. That's in here. Okay, so this is showing parameters. So this, I don't even want this screenshot. Yeah, we're just gonna retake basically all of the other screenshots. So we have with result, we've got that one. Let's go get our other screenshot that we just took. And that's this one. So this is not showing parameters. This is intent description. So what we're doing over here is we're going to insert our symbol. Oh, whoops, we actually need to make these symbols. Nothing's going to happen. Okay. So then we insert a symbol. Description. You want to delete the images? There we go. Okay. So now we export this and we call it intent description. I'm gonna go to our desktop. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna create a new folder, and this is gonna be like shortcuts slides. We're gonna save this, but then the other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add our 2x and 3x because we can be that bougie. All right, so there's that, and then we switch this to being with result instead. And then we export that. We call this, oh, bummer. We call this, oh, bummer. Because we can't name it, which is a problem. That's fine. And then we go back to our simulator. Okay, so we've added that. And then we want to show like our hidden parameters. Well, okay, let's start here. Let's show our, well, no, we're going to start here. We're just going to screenshot that. Then we're going to pick a parameter. Here. Oh, we can actually clear it now. That's confusing. We'll just take that screenshot. And then we'll take this screenshot. And then we've got the one that works with everything. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call that good. So there's all of our screenshots. We're going to duplicate that. Duplicate it again. We get our other screenshots. Okay, yeah. So these would just be the different things that you can do with that. Okay, so we're going to switch to intent description 2. Intent description copy. We're going to rename this thing to selecting parameters. And then we're going to switch it to intent description copy 2. So we gave up on giving names to these things. And we're going to call this one hidden parameters. Export that. Now we've got all of our parameters. Okay. So now if we go back to Xcode, we go to our assets, we delete this one, go back to Finder, we go to our shortcut slides, we select all of these, push back to Xcode, drop them all in here. Look at that. Okay. Now we got all kinds of pictures. Black background baked in. God. It's fine. It's totally fine. Hidden parameters. What were the other things that I named them? Here, we're just going to delete all of these again. Saw intent description was 1. Maybe I should have written down the names just so that I could remember what they were. Okay. Now that we have that, now let's try this again. And look, now they don't have black boxes around them. Hurrah. Okay. So now we go back to our shortcut slides. Our first one has a media asset, and this is intent description. Should actually pop it up. And the intent title and the intent description. Okay. On our next one, we have, what is this? This is selecting parameters. And this shows us, still has our intent title, but it does not have our intent description. It does have our parameter summary. Hurrah. Okay. Then on the next page, go ahead and do shortcut slide 3. And then we have the same thing, but we also have our hidden parameters are now being shown. Those hidden parameters. And then last but not least, slide 4. It also has perform result. Okay. So, in theory, build and run this on the Mac. We should now have all of our information. What are app intents? What else are app intents? What should be an app intent? Building our basic app intents. You can mouse up and down on here. Exposing data. We can do the same thing here. Using app intents and shortcuts. So here's what it looks like. This is your intent title, your intent description. To actually add them to the deck. One, two, three, four. 2, 3. Power. Okay. Build and run. App intents. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Intent title and intent description. This only shows the intent title. The parameter summary. So this is your parameter summary up here. Then you have your hidden parameters. You talk that little toggle down there. You get your hidden parameters. So there's our with background. And then when you add something else, that's your result. And so I can take that image and I can save it to my photos. All right. Okay. Live widgets and live activities. That's what's next. Okay. You can use it to configure your widgets and live activities. See, this is the part where I start running out of code that I have, which is a problem. Because I don't want to write a whole bunch of code today. Let's go. Figure it out. First of all, not centered. Second of all, back to the Mac Mini because I also have the more useful than you think on every slide in here, which is probably not. Can I just get rid of subtitles on some of these pages? Maybe I don't have subtitles on pages. Maybe that's what we really do. That's probably fine to just not have subtitles. I can't come up with witty subtitles forever. Yeah, sound programming. We probably will. It's terrifying to me. I still need to ship this app that I'm currently working on, the barcode app. And I need to probably have like an iOS 18 update for Black Highlighter. Both of those are just kind of coming way too fast. It's always too soon. Everything's too soon. Okay, so if I'm gonna get rid of the subtitle on this one, I actually want to put it in the text. Wards. So we actually did get rid of it on this one already. And we never had it on this one. Okay, so why was I so worried about this? That's fine. But yes, no, we probably will be getting it sooner rather than later. But oh my god, I'm not ready. Okay, so for widgets and live activities, what are the things that you can do with widgets and live activities? So you can have the configuration widget used, words used for configuration of basic widgets. Where's the button that I was hitting to make the thing? Basic widgets. There we go. Can I turn landscape back on? That would be cool. Used for configuration of basic widgets. And dwarfs. That's what I want. Used. Hey, EagleNut, how are you doing? Adds interactivity to interactive widgets and live activities. And then, yeah, maybe I do want this to be a columns. And then we put our code on the other side. You're in acquisition hell and it's ruined your watch streak, so you can imagine not well at all. I'm sorry, EagleNut. Oh, hey, I just saw the like fancy filter on the thing. It's okay. I ruined a lot of people's watch streaks this week. Are messages way faster now? I don't think so. I don't think they're way faster now. Is your internet way faster now? I mean, as far as I knew, they were always pretty fast. But yeah, you're just the age of light speed after all. It may just be that the like the lag on the stream is less. The sun is still out. Texas still has enough internet. Why is this mad at me? No, because I forgot to actually put a column in here. That's why it's mad at me. Okay, I'm here. I got it. I need a different column for my code. Okay, this is where we've screwed up. There we go. I did it. I screwed it up. There we go. Code. Okay, so this is where we have code. Internet runs like this from the sun. It likes the dark. Internet in basements is insane for that reason. Okay, so here's where we need our other intent. This one. I mean, really, there's not anything interesting in here. It's just more of the same. But honestly, maybe that's the point, is that there's just more of the same. Compile dev, start your stream at noon. We need this to be Swift code. Right. Okay. I mean, yeah, ultimately the answer is that there's not that much interesting in here. There is just, you need to have an init. You can have an init with a specific code because you want to, you know, be able to pass that in elsewise. And you can pass in a code like that. I guess that is really ultimately the answer there. That's what a configuration intent looks like. Let's go learn ourselves at least what another one is going to look like, because we're going to need this for Bark anyway. So like, what does it look like to have live activities? Or sorry, we're not going to have live activities for Bark. I mean, we could, but that's not really what we're looking for. Oh, focus filters. I forgot about focus filters. That's another thing that we can support. I forgot about focus filters. We're going to add that to the expansion slide and then not cover it. We might cover it. I don't know. We'll see how much time we have. Once we have to write all of this other code. I'm looking for interactivity. Oh, yeah. To add interactivity, use the app intents. It's not helpful, man. I want the code that tells me how to do the thing. Adding interaction. Button and toggle. Yeah, but how do we make it do a thing? Okay, so action. This is just SwiftUI button though. You're not helping me, man. To add interactivity to widgets and live activities, use SwiftUI in the app intents framework. Okay, great. Tell me more. Oh, here. Maybe it's this. Yeah, there we go. Adding interactivity to widgets and live activities. Okay, here we go. Add an app intent that performs the action. Buttons and toggles you add to your widgets and live activities use functionality that you expose to the system by adopting the app intents framework. Blah, 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 blah. Adopt the app intent protocol and make it to your app target, etc., etc. Define input parameters that your action needs. Okay. In the perform function, do that. Okay. We've done that. Implement the perform function. Add a button. Okay. Here's how we would do this. Button takes an intent. Okay. So that's really all we need, is just a button takes an intent and we can pass in values to that intent. Okay, that's fine. How do I make it then update this? I don't know. Also, how do I make it an app intent that does not show up in the shortcuts app? You love what you're watching. Where can you get the soundtrack? You can go to the Lo-Fi Girl YouTube stream. Specifically the synthwave one. I'm sure they have t-shirts and stickers for the soundtrack. I don't have a t-shirt and sticker because I'm waiting for the compile dev Blender tutorial, because I know exactly what I want my thing to look like. And I tried making it in Blender, and I'm bad. I'm bad at this. So I'm waiting for the compile dev Blender tutorial so that I can make what I want to make in Blender, and then I can have that icon available. Sorry, that logo available, and then I can turn that into stuff. Your employees have started playing some sort of lo-fi music video game that rewards you with pets and clothes for completing tasks. Okay. I mean, really, I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, you just support an app intent and you just have a button. Used for configuration of basic widgets, adds interactivity to interactive widgets. I don't like the fact that this, I don't like the way that the bullets work in here, so I'm just gonna make it a single line. Interactivity does uses standard app intent. Yeah, so there's not really much to say about this. It's like literally you just do the thing. I mean, I guess probably, yeah, just yeah. Really, yeah, it's just button. You can say in a view, button intent, code display intent. What was the other one that we used called? Is the other intent? We're gonna put it on the building slide. And we just called it code intent. Selected code. Yeah, there we go. So there's that. There's that slide. We're done with that slide. Widgets and live activities. You can create a custom used for configuration of basic widgets. I guess those would be, or add interactivity to interactive widgets. Interactivity uses standard app intents. Okay. And then this one is conform to widget configuration intent. Yeah, or add interactivity to interactive widgets, and interactivity uses just standard app intents. Perfect. Ship it. What's next? Intelligence slide. Okay. There's not much here yet. Still coming in the future, but we know some stuff. And basically what we know is that we're going to have to conform to specific types of interactions of app intents. And so specifically integrating your app with Apple and Intelligence. We need assistant schemas. To integrate your app with Siri and Apple Intelligence, you need to provide app intent, app entity, and app enum implementations, blah, 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 blah. Create implementations that work well with Apple Intelligence. You need to use assistant intent, assistant entity, and assistant enums. And then the app intent domain describes a collection of APIs, for example, photos for the photos domain. This seems like a bug. If an app has photos or video functionality. For a list of assistant schemas, look at that page. I have too many tabs open and I don't know where any of them are going. There we go. Okay. So we have app intent domains and they got a big list of them. And not all of them I think are available yet. I mean, they got a whole lot of them. So I don't know how many of these are actually available yet. Now, see, it seemed like they were saying that there were all of these available, but I'm pretty sure they're not actually all available. But I mean, there's a whole lot of them in here. Assistant intent schema. Then where are our schemas? Because it was almost like they were linking to stuff, and I'm pretty sure that stuff is not actually available. Why don't we go look at our code? Assistant intent schema. Like, for example, let's just hash available iOS 18. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing that we need. At available. Sorry, at what did it say it was? Assistant intent schema. Oh, I mean, it looks like they're all here. Like, let's pick one at random. Journal. Okay, it can't tell me anything about it. Perfect, love it. Requires that some assistant schemas journal intent conform to assistant schemas.intent. What does that mean? I mean, I'm pretty sure photos is definitely one of the ones that does work. So we're going to say that, but then, oh, okay. So we need to just go down a level. Hold on. Maybe I'm just dumb. Journal dot create entry. Okay. It's actually, that's totally fine. Oh yeah. I mean, look at these. Also, I'm even more weirded out by the fact that they seem to be backported to iOS 16. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just list them all in because I don't know that it's not available. Books. I'm just gonna copy paste this whole thing and then just grab it from wherever. A star. Okay. Books. Browser. Camera. Document reader. File management. Journaling. Email. Photos and videos. Presentations. Spreadsheets. System and app search. Whiteboards. Word processors. I'm going to clean some of these words up, but I mean, that is basically what I'm looking for. Comma space. Books, browser, camera, documents, document reading, readers, file management, journaling, email, photos, ampersand, videos, presentations, spreadsheets, system and in-app search. I'm just going to make that search. Whiteboard and text editing. We just make this word processing. Each domain, oops, words. Each domain has a set of defined actions. Sweet. Okay. Maybe I do make this have some kind of a columns with some extra code in it. Because if we do that, then there you go. We can do at least a little bit of a demonstration of what that might look like. Code.swift. Highlight enabled. True. Okay, that looks good enough. And really what we're talking about is just that top assistant intent. And then everything else is basically the same thing. And my foot's stuck. Sorry. Okay. So there's the Apple Intelligence slide. We got something there. What's next? Spotlight. Okay. This one's... I don't want to deal with this one. Let's just drop the hardware slide entirely because there's not actually that much useful in that one. It's just like, oh yeah, you can make it work with the action button. But really all the action button does is just run a shortcut. So actually anything interesting there as far as I know? The focus filters honestly is more interesting than the hardware intent. So maybe I look into that and I figure out how that works. And then that can be our last slide. When someone engages a focus, the system executes your app's custom set focus filter intent. Define a version of this intent to update your app's configuration and filter incoming notifications. Yes. Okay. That actually probably is more interesting. So we'll turn our hardware slide to our focus slide. Okay. Hey. I gotta sneeze. No, maybe not. Got there eventually. Okay. What slide are we working on? The spotlight slide. Yes. Okay. Expose your app's actions. Yeah. Spotlight search. Users can start flows in your app directly from search results. Can show individual actions. How many hours until the presentation? 3, I believe. Maybe I should know when this actually happens. 7 p.m. So 4 hours, but it's going to take me an hour to drive over there. So I could update the topic. Man, basically nobody went because, I gotta log in and do all that to edit it. Hold on. See, now you've reminded me. Take a nap and be refreshed. Now I need to sign into the meetup thing and actually like update the topic and all of that. And Google login error. There was an error issue while logging in. Okay, so apparently I can't even log in. No, now it worked. Okay, I tried again. Then it worked. I've done a just absolutely terrible job of managing this event this time around, because I didn't think about what it was that I was going to work on or describe until today, so it may have a bad turnout, but that's on me. That's my bad. All right, slides, spotlight actions, bullets, words. Yeah, can show multiple actions under one under app result. Or expose multiple action, or expose a single action, or highlight a single action result. So then, yeah, our other column here, I kind of want, no, this is why I don't like this. I need columns, and then I need a column in my columns. I think that's silly. It's okay. This would be, I kind of want just like multiple media things, and we're going to just say like asset image is, what were the ones that we had? Because I'm hoping that I can just like stack them on top of each other. But I don't remember what any of them were called. Intent description. Copy this whole line. We're just going to paste it twice into here and see what happens. Are they stacked vertically? Hopefully, yes. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so then what I want is to go grab some screenshots from a page that I no longer have open, apparently. Here we go. Okay. There's actually not any screenshots of this. Sweet. Love it. Perfect. I mean, maybe I just grabbed this screenshot. Maybe. We didn't have, okay, there's no screenshots or anything in here. The only other thing to do would be to go, I could have sworn we saw a better screenshot somewhere. Does anybody remember us seeing whether or not we had that screenshot earlier? I feel like there was a better screenshot that we saw earlier. Am I losing my mind? I feel like we saw a screenshot earlier that was like, here's what this would look like. Maybe it really was just in the developer app. Like here. This isn't it, but this is... No, this is totally it. App intents offering actions in the Shortcuts app. No. Oh, well, we don't want to offer actions in the Shortcuts app. No, we want it in search. Spotlight, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Design shortcuts for Spotlight. Yeah, this is really what I want. It's just this screenshot right here. I'm literally just going to screenshot this image right here. Actually, you know what? No. Here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to copy this link. We're going to go to here. And then we're going to hope that it was going to show us that, but it's apparently not. Boo! Here, we're going to just download this video. And then we're going to, God. They can never make it that easy for us, can they? I want to download this video and then I just want to, like, grab it. Surely this is not going to work, is it? Oh my God, it might. I'm downloading it to the Bark folder for some stupid reason, but this might actually work. I don't care about the audio. I'm just going to take screenshots from the video. Come on. You save me time by not downloading the audio. Hey, yeah, if he does this, then okay. That's definitely one screenshot that I can do. Yeah, do that. Or I'm hoping that there's a part where they show like something side by side. No, this is not what I want. Nope, I jumped way too far ahead. Yeah, because I mean, okay, where's that one that had, yeah, all of these? Maybe just this. But then, yeah, the other thing that I want to show is like this. Yeah. Okay, I mean, this is one thing that I wanted to do, but then I think, yeah, the other thing that I want to show is another one. I just wish there was one that had both of them side by side. I could talk about just like, oh yeah, here's both of the options. I didn't have to do multiple different ones. That's fine. This does look like a good video to rewatch, but because yeah, especially if I can like expose all of like Bark's barcodes into here, that'd be super cool. And then that way you just like can search for a specific barcode and it shows up. That'd be great. Seems like a really nice feature to have. Right now we're just gonna say this is like actions. We're gonna say this the desktop. Where's that slides? And like shortcuts slides. All that. Then we're gonna call this actions, and we're gonna do a new one, and we're gonna call it this one's results. I'm bad at names. Shut up. Actions and results. Go to our assets, and we're just gonna drag and drop those in. Okay, and so then I think we want actions on top and results on bottom. What that looks like. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm okay with that. Or highlight a single action result. Yeah, can show multiple actions under app result or highlight a single action result. Follow your app with app shortcuts. I think actually what I want to do is I want to talk about design. I want to link to this instead. Maybe I link to both. Yeah. Okay. So we got those. We got those. Spotlight actions. Do we really need to provide like code or anything for this? Probably not, right? For developer guidance, see app intents. What specifically? App shortcuts. App shortcuts provider. Type alias for the type that provides an app's pre-configured shortcuts. Okay. So in this, we would say you need an app shortcuts provider. App shortcut is a type that defines a pre-configured shortcut for a specific app intent. Do you have like sample code I can steal, please? This is API collection, but really what I want is sample code. You're not going to be that helpful, are you? What if I go to this page and then hopefully it links to sample code? No. Bummer. But it's got this. There we go. Okay. So we have an app intent. Then we create an app shortcut provider, and that provides app shortcuts with some other stuff. That's really all I care about. This works great. Ship it. I am ship it. Can I put the code just underneath here? Will it fit under there? It will. Okay, cool. We're going to rename this to all of ours. So code, shortcuts, app shortcuts provider, blah, blah, blah. Code intent. Display a barcode. I don't know. I think that's good enough. That's it gets the point across. You just provide your shortcuts. They look like that. I would want to show more saying like, here's our individual code, but I don't think I got the space to do that. Because what I really want is like, you know, something like codes.map. What is this going to look like? It looks like maybe we got enough space. Okay, so codes.map, code in, code intent, code, display, code.name. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. Okay, one more slide left. Is it really just the focus slide left? And then we're done? Yes, okay. Focus slide, focus filters. So we have to implement a set focus filter intent. Providing a default value ensures setting this required Boolean value. To define focus filter parameters for an object that conforms to the set focus filter intent parameter, the sample project annotates the relevant variables with the add property parameter value. Okay. I think this is just parameters are going to be whatever, and it allows you to do things. It allows you to expose configuration based on given focuses the user has set. So yeah, that's what we're going to say. You to expose custom configuration based on a user's focus. What am I missing here? Same thing I'm always missing. How on earth would I have guessed that? Okay, so then we add another new column, and that column is going to be our code. I need to put the word code in here as well. .swift. Enable highlights true. Nope. Up. Xcode would be nice if you understood how your own Swift code worked. Enables you to expose configuration based on a user's focus. Well, we just exposes configuration based on a user's focus. Okay. Enables users can set parameters per focus. Yeah. Yeah. So all you do, yeah. Conform to focus filter intent. Conform to set focus filter intent. There are not now two dogs. There are now two dogs watching the stream, and they are not giving you useful suggestions. They're not giving me useful suggestions either, so we're in the same boat there. How about, yeah, so this is going to be focus filter intent. I'm just going to call it that. I'm just going to rename whatever. Our parameter is going to be representation of a chat account this app uses for notification filtering and suppression. What values do I want to change? Like, I don't think there's anything that I would want to change on my app based on this, so I'm just going to ignore. This. I'm just going to say that this is a sample focus filter intent. I'm not going to try to do this based on my app because there's no reason for my app to need focus filters. I mean, I guess in theory you could say like, oh, I only want this type of focus when I'm going to the theater. I don't know. It seems kind of dumb. I'm not going to do it. We're just gonna say that this is an ability that you have, is that you can change your parameters based on a given focus filter, and this is just you expose various parameters. The user's in charge of what values they want to set for which focus, and they can set that all in their UI. Okay, so that's everything. Let's run through this whole slide deck and make sure that it is coherent, I suppose. Let's do a quick run through of this UI. We do not want to run this on the iPad mini. We don't want to run this on the iPad mini. We want to run this on the Mac. And then at some point, we're also going to need to make sure that this runs on iMac, but that's a problem for the future. All right, app intents. They're more useful than you think. So what are app intents? If you are familiar with app intents at all, you're probably familiar with them being how you implement shortcuts support. Support for Apple's Shortcuts app. And the Apple Shortcuts app is very much seen as this power user feature. And so a lot of people really haven't looked into it beyond them. So what are they used for? Yeah, they're used to, okay, I've screwed this up. This is why we do these quick run throughs. We're going to start over. What are app intents? If you're familiar with app intents at all, you're familiar with how you add functionality to the Apple Shortcuts app. They're defined completely in Swift code. As of right now, they're now only in Swift code. Apple used to have another way of doing it that was Objective-C compatible. It was a nightmare. Don't do it. It's deprecated. And a lot of the newer functionality doesn't work with that old system. So this has to be done only in Swift code. It uses some Swift compiler magic, etc. Stop you there. I'll buy one word on my side. App intents take in parameters, and those parameters can be strings, they can be files, they can be numbers, they can be your own custom entities, stuff that exists in your app and only in your app. They perform an action, and they can optionally return a result. And that result can be the same types that you can take in. But app intents are way more than just implementing shortcuts. They are used for a whole lot of things, the basis of a bunch of new system features in the app. In iOS, macOS, all of those things. They're used for configuring home screen widgets. They're used for custom control center items. They're used for interactive widgets and interactive live activities. They're the basis of the new Apple Intelligence system that's coming in 18.1. They can be used to add actions to Spotlight. They can interact with hardware. They can and they're the basis of focus filters, custom focus filters. So there's way more to app intents than just the shortcuts app. And I think a lot of people have dismissed app intents because they're like, oh, it's really just for power users. My app's not for power users. I don't need this. But it turns out it actually backs way more things. And so I think it makes sense for most developers to look into app intents and know more about them in the future and really begin to start implementing them in your apps. So what should be an app intent? Well, short answer, everything. Every atomic action a user might take in your app should probably be represented by some kind of app intent. Do intents have any role with lock screen widgets? Yeah, the same deal. Basically every other type of widget. So lock screen widgets and custom control center items are basically the same thing. As far as I've been able to tell, I haven't actually built any of them yet, but yeah. So yes, they are pretty similar. But yeah, they do the same sort of thing. Well, actually, are lock screen widgets... Hang on, that might not be true. I might have steered you the wrong way. Lock screen widgets aren't interactive, are they? Lock screen widgets may be based on the older widgets thing, which is deep links. So that might actually not be true. I'm not 100% sure. Lock screen widgets may just be a URL, not a app intent. But yeah. So anyway, what should be an app intent? Basically, every atomic action a user might take in your app should probably be represented by some kind of app intent because it helps the system understand what your users are doing and surface those actions later. And it gives your apps more ways of exposing that behavior to other parts of the system. And specifically, you want all of the atomic actions for users who do use shortcuts because then they can chain those actions to make custom workflows possible. There's a lot of good content out there about this, way better than I can ever say. So I've linked to 3. One is an article about action-centered design by Vidit Bhargava, the developer of the app Lookup and Word of the Day. And he talks a lot about like design really has changed because an app is not just an app anymore. An app is an app plus all of the system interactivity with it. So he talks about how to design around that. And then Apple talks about specifically app intents a little bit more in terms of designing your app for system experiences and expanding the app intents usage that you may have started back when shortcuts was a thing, but really there's so much more to it now that you really want to do way more app intents. So how do you build an app intent? Like I said, it's very basic Swift code. Here's a fully featured app intent from one of my apps, an app that I'm currently working on to display barcodes display barcodes. I guess this is the end of that sentence. You conform to a protocol, app intent, and that protocol has a couple different requirements, such as a title and a description. We'll see where those are used in a minute. And then you can define parameters, and parameters, they each also have a title and they can take in various values. Barcode entity, this is something that is solely in my app, so we'll describe later how to present that. But then this other parameter has a background. It's just a simple Boolean on or off. It's just a little toggle. And those are the 2 parameters that I take in. Then you provide a parameter summary, which is a sentence describing how you are going to use that parameter. And you can include some parameters in your parameter summary, but then you can have some parameters that are hidden. You know, a user might not need to care about that. So like I have a default value for this has background. We can kind of hide that away a little bit. So we're just going to include the code parameter in our parameter summary and hide away the has background parameter. And then it's got to perform, which returns a value. In this case, we're returning a file. In this case, we're grabbing an image renderer. We're getting some PNG data. We're returning a file that has that data, type PNG, has a file name. We're returning that as our result. Talked about exposing our custom data to app intents. And so the barcode entity in here, that's it right here. You conform to app identity. You have to display something for the type as a whole. We're just saying that this is a barcode. Have the code that we have it. It has to be identifiable, so you have to provide some kind of ID. You're familiar with that if you've done any SwiftUI work whatsoever. And then a display for each individual barcode entity. So in this case, I'm just providing a title. It's just the name of that barcode. I realize there's a problem with my code right here. We're going to go back and fix that later. You also have to provide a query so that it knows how to ask for all of your specific barcodes. And you can ask for it by identifiers or just whatever you suggest. And so in both of these cases, I'm just referring down to a way to get every barcode that I've stored in my suggested entities. I'm just returning all of them. In my entities for identifiers, I'm filtering based on whether I have that identifier. The end. So what does this look like in use? So we're going to show them in shortcuts. Again, I know I said that this is far more than shortcuts, but shortcuts provides like a great way to debug these and show where all of these pieces are being used. So on here, on our very first page, this is when you add a shortcut to a shortcuts workflow. This is when you add an intent to a shortcut, I guess is what I really want to say. And what you see in here is our intent title up here in the list. And then down here, you got to get heading out for sound and programming. See ya. Have a great time. I promise I'll go look at your resume later today and give you some feedback. But thanks for hanging out. Yeah, so you have your intent title up here and your intent description down below, and you can provide whatever information that you want for users to understand what you're doing with their, what this intent is going to do. On this page, this is after you've added that intent, and you see up here, we've got our parameter summary. This is show blank, and blank is where we had that variable defined earlier. And so this is where our code is, show code. If we tap on that code, we can look at the various codes that I have available. I've got 2 codes, treats and website. Those are the codes that are stored in my app right now. And we can pick any one of those that we want. It's in there. We've got our hidden parameter, our with background parameter. That's if we toggle that little arrow there, we get our little toggle. Simple as that. And then we can hook up other intents to this. This is a photos intent that saves a photo to the thing. And you can see that it's just connected with this little line. And you see in here, save show code, and it's saving it to a given photo album. So just my recents folder. So it takes the result of what we had in the previous one and saves it to our photo. So those are the various individual pieces of a app intent. But where else can they be used? One of the quickest ones that you're going to run into is widgets. This is home screen widgets and live activities. And you can do a couple different things with there. For old school basic widgets, you get the ability to configure them. That's all done with app intents. And so again, you have to conform to a specific type of intent. In this case, widget configuration intent. It's pretty similar. You have the title and you have the description as before. You can take in parameters. I should have been highlighting this. You have the title and description as before. You can take in various parameters. In this case, I've also provided like an init that takes in that parameter. It's not important. But you don't provide a perform. That is provided by the system as a part of widget configuration intent. So all you're really doing here is exposing parameters. And the system just gives you a list of parameters, and the user is allowed to select which one that they want in each one. It can also be used to add interactivity to interactive widgets. So if you've got a widget on the home screen that you can tap on and have it do various different things, that will just call an app intent, and you can use just a regular standard app intent there. You don't have to conform to anything special. Here is me using the intent that you saw previously in just a custom widget. You literally just have a SwiftUI button, and that button takes an intent parameter. You can pass in whatever intent you want, and it will perform that intent when you tap it. The end. You use it through shortcuts. You can use it through shortcuts. You can use it through widgets. You can use it through a bunch of different things. The idea is that it is shortcuts is kind of the default, and that's what everybody has understood it to be for in the past, but it is now way much more than just shortcuts. So you have shortcuts, you have configuring widgets, you have interactive widgets. And you have Apple Intelligence. This is the new Siri functionality that Apple's very much been hyping that is coming soon. TM. Still coming in the future, but there is some stuff. I mean, shortcuts is a great thing to learn, Eaglont, but yeah, there's so many more things. And then, yeah, Apple Intelligence, I think, is going to be a big one where you're just going to be able to ask Siri to do this stuff for you. You don't need to build your shortcuts. Just be like, here's the thing. Still coming in the future, but Apple has started to explain how we're going to do it. In order for Apple Intelligence to know deep things about it, it needs to adopt a specific domain. They've had some domains that they've defined already. You can see them listed here. I'm not going to read them out. And then they've promised that they're going to have more domains available in the future, but these are the ones that they have right now. And for each domain, you have a set of actions. So if you look at this example here, you just say, this is an assistant intent. You provide this macro for it, and you have to tell it the domain that you're using. The schema is a domain plus an action. So in this case, we've got the photos domain, and we're telling it to open something in photos. That's it. Everything else in here, this is all just normal app intent stuff. You don't need to worry about any of the content. Everything else in here is just a regular app intent. All that really matters for Apple Intelligence is this assistant intent macro. Spotlight actions. Oh, I need to drop the subtitle from that. It's not more useful than you think. Where's the podcast about shortcuts? If you could record, edit, and publish it tonight, that would be cool. Spotlight actions. This is another place to expose your app's abilities. You can start flows in your app directly through search results. And so there's a couple different ways that a user can see this. If they search for your app, you can see what you have in the top here, which is that you'll see your app and then a couple of different actions available to it. And so you can have an action like a new board. You can have an open type thing, like opening a specific board or opening a specific value in reminders. And that's the two things. I started to say like there was a third thing, but there's just two things. That's it. You can perform an action directly, or you can show some kind of entity that you're going to open into. So you have the multiple actions under the app result, or a user can search for a specific result, or the system can actually suggest a specific result to you, and you'll see them as individual results in here. So in this case, you don't see the freeform app separate. You just see the new board action in freeform, and that's provided to you there. For that, you need to provide what are called app shortcuts. This is the terrible name since it has nothing to do with the shortcuts app. Apple loves weird names. It's fine. You create an app shortcuts provider. You return an array of app shortcuts that literally just wraps an intent with a phrase that would show up in your search results. So what might a user search for that is going to show up in there? So in this case, we're going to display a barcode. Phrases display the name of the code. So we're just looping through all of our codes, and we're displaying, we're returning an app shortcut for each one. That's that. And the last one that I want to highlight is focus. Thankfully, that's not going to be available tonight. The last one that I want to highlight is the focus filters. And this is where a user is able to change things in your app based on what focus mode they're currently in. So you might be familiar with the focus modes. You can have like a driving focus mode, or you can have a, I'm exercising, or I'm doing whatever. I don't remember what all of the results are. There's a bedtime focus filter mode, that kind of thing. And you may want to change how your app works based on a given focus filter. And so this is another way of doing app intents. You take your app intent, you conform it to this set focus filter intent, and then all you really need to do in here is just provide parameters. And so you have various parameters in here. We've conformed to set focus filter intent. We have some sample parameters in here. Use dark mode, set a particular status message, have a selected account. And the user is in charge of saying what is each value for each given focus. This is just a way of exposing your configuration based on these different focus filters. But yeah, still all backed by app intents, still backed by the same app parameter values. Just a lot simpler than your standard app intents. And that's everything. Anybody have any questions? That's true for chat as well as for anybody that would be there in the real world hanging out. But yeah, there we go. There's our presentation. I'm gonna have to practice it a few more times, but I think that's basically it. I do also need to figure out how to transfer this over to my other machine and be able to run it on there, but that's a different problem that I'm not going to do on stream. HBO miniseries. Probably not. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I am going to go take that nap that Compile Dev recommended. No, I'm going to go eat lunch. I don't know what else. I'm going to go eat lunch. I'm going to go prepare for all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And I hope you learned something about app intents. And if you didn't, then I didn't do my job. But you can complain about that later. And I'll come back and I'll learn more stuff. I don't know. I'm happy to keep dealing with app intents. It seems fun. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I will be back eventually. I don't know. Yeah, hope to see you around. Goodbye.